nice to see you guys. I have a background in journalism. I do page design and layout for the Business Journal, and I have my own company building websites. Most of you guys, I don't know what platform you're on, but I'm a big fan of WordPress. 90% of the customers that come to me request WordPress, and so I can definitely see how beginners would be very attracted to it. So if you have any WordPress related questions, I'm the gal, but the concepts I'm going to go over are just really basic web design concepts that are platform agnostic. All right, so if you were at the last session, this might overlap a little bit with what Desiree was saying, so kind of do a lot of the similar work. Also, I just want to know how many people how many of you guys have heard that content is king? Right? Okay, so the saying goes that content is king and that marketing is queen. Well, the king and the queen live in a castle, and that castle is your website. And so we want it to be nice, right? Okay, here we go. You do not want your website to look like that. This is a guy in North Carolina. I'm not picking on Republicans or anything. I'm sure he's a really nice guy, but it is 2012. Your website has no excuse for looking like this. So what you want your website to look like is this. So this is Andrew Como from New York, and this is a WordPress website. And as you can see, it's a lot cleaner. There's not a lot of blinding text or anything like that. And this is what you want your website to become. So I'm just going to go over some basic design principles, and we call it design crap because if you take the first letter of each one of these, it spells crap. It's a designer joke. Things to keep in mind when you're building your website is contrast. You don't want anything like really glaring, like pink on green or yellow on orange text and pictures. Repetition. This would be repeating the same elements throughout your website, so the same color palette, the same font, using your same logo. Don't change colors every time you click on something. Alignment. We want everything to line up like this one guy's website. I mean, this is centered, this is aligned this way, there's just things everywhere. Doesn't look professional at all. This guy, we have a clear center for content and the sidebar here. You can clearly see who he is and what he wants. And then proximity is, again, just how close things are to each other. You don't want everything on your website just bundled up in one little area. You want to spread things out so people, they can see the flow of information. So just a couple of basic design principles. And next thing I want to tell you about is speed. Speed is very important. 40% of people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. Now this statistic is fairly recent, but I'm thinking that it's shorter than that. I know if I have to wait more than a second and a half, I just get frustrated. When you want people on your website, you don't want them to leave. So you want it to be fast. And even nowadays with the mobile and the tablets and things, you don't want things to take that long to load. You want them to be quick. So how do we do that? Well, one thing is to simplify. Don't have 20,000 images right on your home page. Again, you want to spread them out through the page, through the website. Keep everything very clean. The less text it has to load, the less scripts that have to load. Extra bits of code, those would be like your scripts. Those would be any additional fun things that you add to your website, maybe collecting email addresses or fancy headers or different analytics and stuff. You want to keep that to a minimum. You want to optimize your images. Okay, this is a pet peeve with me. How many times have you gone to a website and seen a graphic and it's all stretched and distorted? You know what I'm talking about? That's because people, they don't size their images. They just take a big image and then they say, oh, I have a little 80 pixel by 80 pixel space. Let's just squish it in there. And what it's doing is just taking a big image and squishing it. What you want to do is use Photoshop or GIMP and resize it to the correct size that you need. That will cause things to load faster.
Fun free workaround.
Yes.
When you have the giant image on your computer, if you're just looking on Windows Viewer or whatever Mac Viewer is, you resize it down, and it'll make the images start to shrink for you. Just hit print screen and crop that out as that image.
Very nice.
If you're building a $1,000 website, maybe don't do that. But if you're
Well, if you're doing it on your own,
together, yeah.
no, that's a great tip, and I've done that in certain cases too. If you don't have a program like Photoshop, GIMP is a free web alternative. What is it?
PicMonkey.
PicMonkey. Oh, I have never used PicMonkey.
Picnic Left.
Oh yes, I remember.
Which I adore for quick photo editing and textual. But PicMonkey is currently free. It's really incredible for web. I'm sure they'll start charging soon, but you can do quite a bit. So if you're not having Photoshop or other things, and they have quite a bit of typeface choices considering the freeness of it. So.
Well, I will keep that in mind. PicMonkey, if you guys didn't hear.
Irfan is another one that's free.
Irfan, yes, that's true. So, I mean, there are a lot of free alternatives if you have zero design and graphic skills or you don't have the programs. Just look online. Just type in, color corrector or free image resizer or whatever you need to do to adjust your pictures. Again, that will help you load faster. Leverage browser caching. So, if you don't know what caching is, that's when your server hangs on to your pictures so that it doesn't have to serve them out every time you load the page. So it's kind of like a holding spot. And that will help your stuff load faster because it doesn't have to load the pictures every time it hits a page. Your website speeds up. In WordPress, I use W3 Total Cache. It's a plugin that speeds things up. If you're using Joomla, Drupal, Blogger, there are other free software that you can install on there to cache and speed things up as well. Say no to Flash. So I kind of agree with Desiree, who was in this class earlier. She said no to Flash, and it slows things down, especially if you use a Flash program and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to compress the code. It bloats everything, makes it faster. Makes it slower to load. And then also on like mobile devices, especially Apples and Macs, it doesn't work. So the best thing is just to avoid it altogether. There are instances where you have to use it, especially like if you're heavy into video or maybe you're a Flash designer, you want to show off your skills on your site, but avoid it if you can. That's my advice. Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to scan through my notes real quick. Oh yeah. And here are some tools to help you out. Pingdom is a great resource on the web. It's free. You punch in your website address and it tells you lots of statistics about speed and so forth. So if your speed is really slow, it will tell you. If you're doing okay, it will also tell you. Optimizes and compresses your code. This is a WordPress plugin, and this is really great also. So if you have a lot of plugins and codes and photo galleries and all kinds of things going on, that eats up a lot of space, thereby making it slower to load. But this plugin will squeeze everything down and compress it so it's a little quicker. And like I said, the W3 Total Cache is a caching plugin also for WordPress. But there are alternatives to that for other platforms. Okay, simplify. The web is noisy, we all know that. The reason you want to simplify your website is so that people don't get distracted. You want them to keep their eye on the prize. And to do that, you want to clear out the clutter and let them know by your website design, look, here is where I want your email information to send you my newsletter. This is my contact info. You want to make it easy to get your point across to them, so you got to pare it down. Don't just verbally or visually vomit all over your website. You want to keep it as simple as possible. And I think this is really underrated, but if you think of the websites that you use the most, Google, super simple, it's just got a search box, right? Like, I'm trying to think of some other websites, like Craigslist, just really simple. And they might look a little ugly, but there's a point to that, and that point is they get things done. It's the functionality, they get people to do what they want them to do. And so you want to keep that in mind too. Here are some tips. Like I said, focus only on the essential elements. So if it's extra crap that, if you have a blog about knitting, why do you have 5,000 pictures of your dog? You don't need that. One might do it with him with a little knit hat or something. Reduce the information overload. If there's too much coming at people, they're not going to pay attention to what you want them to pay attention to. So you want to direct the flow of information to them. So keep it clean, keep it simple, spread out the information across the website if you can. Limit your color scheme. So if you have too many like pink and purple and green stars and glitter and things going off, it's going to distract people. They're not going to get the message. They're just going to remember the hideous colors. Okay, so here's some resources. You're like, what does a good website look like then? And these are some places I get some inspiration. A List Apart is a really great website. I mean, they have thousands of tutorials and information on how to build a more beautiful website. So if you're interested in like designing your own stuff, if you have questions about, oh, how do I make a drop-down menu, if you really want to dig into the code, A List Apart is great. SmashingMagazine.com, very visual, like every week it's a new top 10 list, top 10 best search boxes, top 10 best photo galleries. So you just flip through there and look real quick and see what you like and what you don't like. ThemeForest, so if you have a WordPress website, you can get themes for it without having to code everything yourself. ThemeForest is a great resource. It's a marketplace for layouts and templates, and even if you don't necessarily purchase one from them, just looking through all the designs might spark an idea about what you want to do with your stuff. And then webdesignerdepot.com is also another one of those list sites. Every day it's a new top 10 list of something really beautiful and cool. So if you want to look through those, that's where I get my inspiration. Okay, here's another way to improve your website is your About page. And after your home page, for the majority of you guys, your About page is going to be the most visited page on your website. And so you don't just want it to have like one little sentence, hi, my name is Drew, and I fix cars. That sounds really dull and boring. People are going to click off of that right away. You want to make it fun, exciting, engaging. You want people to know this is what I do, this is what I can do for you. If maybe you're not doing a business, maybe you're doing a blog, you want to tell them this is why you should read me, this is why you should care about what I'm writing. I've seen people do everything from videos to cartoons, all kinds of great things. So again, your About page is the second most visited page on your website. So don't let it go. Do something awesome with it.
So I guess step one is have an About page.
Yes. I am sorry. I just assumed you knew that. That's why they're like on every website. There's like a bio or about me or about this company. It's because that is one of the most clicked on places. People want to know about you before they do business with you or connect with you.
Probably a good place.
Updated, yes.
Oh my god.
Took me a long time before I got around to updating mine, but now I'm very happy with it. So.
Probably a good place to have like your contact information, sort of stuff.
Absolutely, and we'll get around to that too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's in one of these slides somewhere. So here's some more tips. Give people a reason to be on your website. Get to the point. Don't give them this big, long, blah, blah, blah story about why you're here and what you're doing, Unless you're like a writer. People like that shit if you're a writer. So show your personality. Don't be afraid to, just say, hey, I'm this quirky person, or, I love statistics and my whole blog is about statistics. Let them know who you are, because people connect with other people. They don't want to just connect with words on the page. And then also make it memorable. Like I said, videos, graphics, just fun little clips about you. Okay, know your analytics. And give me just a second to have a drink. Do you have any questions? Okay. So I love this quote by Mark Twain, right? Most people use statistics the way a drunkard uses a lamppost for support more than illumination. And I think it's true. In the beginning, when I learned about statistics, that was me too. I would just read them and I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know what the heck was going on. But statistics are important. Google Analytics is my very favorite and the only one I ever recommend anyone to use to pull up details about your website. So what do analytics measure? They measure these kinds of things. Who is revisiting your website? Like, are you getting repeat visitors? That's a good thing, because those are people who are probably going to buy from you or read you. How many people are coming? Where they're coming from? I mean, do you have a huge following in Asia? Maybe that's where you should direct your business. Maybe you have a huge following in Mexico. Maybe you should consider putting your website in Spanish. Just this information can help you plot where you want to take your website in the future. And even this is my favorite one, what links were clicked. So what are people looking for on your website? What do they find interesting? You should do more of that, right? And if you don't know what it is they're interested in, How can you do that?
Do you have to register to get with Google to get this information?
You do need a Google login and password, but if you use any Google service like YouTube or Gmail, you already have a Google account. And you just sign up, punch in your website, they give you a little bit of code, you cut it, paste it into your website, and the analytics start coming in.
That's what I want.
Oh yeah, it's really easy. You can even set it up, like for some of my non-techie clients, I just have them get a weekly report with just the basic information, so they can see what's going on with their website. If you use WordPress, you can have it show your analytics the minute you log in, so you know what blog posts are being viewed and what you need to promote in the world.
Is that the code for the Google Analytics that goes on like every page, yeah?
Most of the time, yes.
You can exclude it from reading certain pages.
Right, you can exclude it from certain pages. If you're on a system like Drupal or Joomla or WordPress, you just put it in one file. Like I like to put mine in the header file or in the footer file. And since that's included with every page, then that code is included throughout your website. Again, it's really easy. Google has great detailed guides, or you can hire someone like myself to help you out. WordPress does too. I told you I'm a big fan of WordPress. So what can they do for you? You can see where your customers or readers are coming from. Like I said, you can find out why they are leaving. Is there a certain blog post or a certain something on your website that's turning them off? You definitely want to get rid of that, right? What kind of content is bringing you the most visitors? Are they blog posts? Are they looking at your photo galleries? I mean, what is it that's drawing them to you? So analytics can do a lot more. They're not just a bunch of numbers. And like I said, Google Analytics is the only one I ever use or recommend. I just think they do the best job ever. Okay, contact pages, right? You want to make it easy for people to contact you. I know this sounds like really simple, but I can't tell you how many times I go to a website and I want to contact the person who owns the website. No email address. There's no nothing. There's not even a contact form. I mean, what if I'm a reporter and I'm trying to contact you to do a story? That's great for your business, but if I can't contact you, I'm moving on to the next guy, right? So again, people want to do business with other people, not the nameless, faceless internet. Get a professional sounding email. This is another one of my pet peeves. It is less than $12 a year to get your own domain name and set up an email account through Gmail. So for example, I'm Perri at Perri Collins. I'm Perri at TechPHX.com. I mean, have a nice email, not like sexybaby48 at Yahoo. You know, nobody's going to want to do business with somebody like that. If you already own your own domain name, if you're like xyzknitting.com, it takes like 10 minutes to set up a professional sounding email through Gmail. So Google has all kinds of tools for the web. So definitely get a professional sounding email, especially if you're intending on doing business with your website. And then be accessible. If you're on social media, put your social media links on your website. If somebody emails you, get back to them because you never know where that's going to lead. Somebody might want to buy something from me. They might want you to guest post on their blog. They might want you to speak at TechPHX, right? So make it easy to contact for you. I recommend putting like an email address or a link to your contact form in your footer. I really like that style. Or a contact in your menu bar at the top or wherever your menus are down the side. But there's a reason why you see them on every page. Just like the About Me, contact is everywhere because you want people to get in touch with you. So make it easy for them. All right, and if you don't feel comfortable giving out your personal information, love Google Voice. I feel like I'm pitching a lot of Google products here. Can't help it.
Who do you work for?
They do a lot of good work. So Google Voice offers free telephone numbers for you. Free voicemail, free everything. It's really neat. And like me, I don't feel comfortable giving out my personal cell phone number to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but I do put my Google Voice telephone number on my website. So people can call and leave a message, and then I can check in and see what they're talking about. If they're like some crazy stalker guy from Hong Kong, or if they're an actual business person who wants to do business with me. If you don't feel comfortable putting your email address, use a contact form. Again, like WordPress has plugins that will build a contact form for you. A lot of themes already come with it. Also, Joomla and Drupal, they have modules with contact forms. Very simple. You don't have to put out any of your information, but you can collect theirs. Contact info on every page. This is good too, because you don't know where these people are coming to your website from. They might land on the home page, they might not, but you want to make it easy for them to get the information they need. So put your contact info on every page.
You mean a link to the contact page or?
Either one.
Okay.
Something that lets them know that you are available to communicate with. And then if you do a business where you do a lot of scheduling, like maybe massage therapy and stuff, consider doing an online scheduling system. So you don't have to have a lot of back and forth with the email and the contact forms. They can just type it in and set it up, because there it is. And again, for Joomla and Drupal, there are modules you can set that up. WordPress has a bunch of free plugins where you can set that up. And it just emails you the times and the dates that person's available, and you can schedule them in. Questions? No? Okay. Am I going too fast? I can slow it down. Okay. So I'm a big social person, and I've been tweeting throughout TechPHX. So if you see anything from the TechPHX account, it's either me or Danny Cutler. Social is a great way to find leads. Like Desiree said in the session before me, it's a great way to pull people to your website. It's a great way to find employees, build your brand, increase your engagement. So social is a great strategy to have. If you have a company, I definitely recommend setting up like a Facebook page. But don't let that be your whole strategy. Don't just focus solely on the social that you forget about your home base, which is your website. Oh, yes, search boxes.
Can I add something about the social?
Yes, go ahead.
What makes me nuts is when people put links, you know, the little buttons at the bottom of their site for like Foursquare, for everything, then they have no actual social media going on. So you'll go to their Facebook page and it's like last updated a year and a half ago.
Right,
It's like,
exactly.
well,
They're just trying to get the numbers of the likes, but they're not
it's just like,
engaging.
why am I going? Why is this
Then
makes me
don't do
actually
it.
not
Then
even go back to your
Those people
website?
are clueless about social,
Right.
and obviously it's no point in you liking their page because they're not going to engage.
Right, it actually usually makes me not go back to their website because I'll be like, well, now I'm in a dead space. Forget you.
Right. Well, some people, they focus so much on one aspect of their marketing strategy that they forget about the rest of them.
Right.
And again, I think that's why it's important to keep an eye on your website. I think that's the main important thing because, like you said, people forget about Facebook pages and Twitter accounts. They live
Some
dormant.
people actually, they'll have their page built for them.
Right, but they
and
don't
then
update
never
anything.
do anything with it, including the social. You know.
Well, now you know what you don't like, and
Right.
when you start your business, then you know not to do
I
that.
absolutely.
So,
I know.
I feel you. It's a pet peeve of mine too, but you can't save everybody. They don't know how to work social media. So add or remove a search box. Search boxes are great. Everybody loves them, but they're not always necessary. Oops. Okay. So, sometimes you don't want a search box. Maybe you have a limited amount of information on your website. Maybe you want to direct people to contact you instead of having to put out a bunch of blog posts and stuff. That's okay. You don't always need a search box. But if you are putting out a lot of content, like a lot of blog posts and white papers and so forth, you definitely want a search box. It could be considered clutter if you don't need it. But again, if you have a lot of information and knowledge to share, you do want one. And if you don't have a platform that utilizes search boxes, like WordPress or blog or whatever, Google, I know, I should really work for them. Google offers a great search box that will search your entire website. It's free, and you can just cut and paste the code from Google and pop it in your website where you want the search box.
But there's quite a few premium themes, which I use, like WordPress, that search box functionalities and things come with part too.
Yes.
So if you have, if you pay
It
for
comes
something.
with WordPress.
Right. So, I mean, it's.
No, I agree. I've seen both. Like, search is a basic function of WordPress, so it's already built in. But there are fancy themes that have fancy boxes and have fancy looking search pages, and that's cool too. That is like an added thing. But if you just want a basic search box, you just punch it in on your header or your widget. Okay, your 404 page. If you've never encountered this on the internet, you're very lucky. A 404 page is one of those pages you get to when you type in something and it says, hey, it's not here. But let me show you an example. There you go, page cannot be found.
Yeah.
You get these a lot. And that's because something that you've typed in has moved, that you've changed a link, someone on your website, they typed in the wrong URL. And this is very boring. This is like your standard. But what you want to do is you want to jazz it up. So this is an opportunity for you to keep people on your website even though they got to the wrong place. Have links to tell them where to go, where to get more information, do something clever. Tell them why they got that message. Don't just let them think something's wrong with their internet service. I especially like the ones that say return to homepage or give a list of what's on the website. You got here because you searched for XYZ, but we don't have this page, so here's a list of other links you might be able to use. Use it as an opportunity to market. It's like dead space. This is like found marketing, prime real estate. Give people a reason to stay on your site. Or do something creative, like I said. Have you seen any really creative 404 pages?
So you have the pancake with the bunny with a pancake on his head.
A bunny with a pancake on their head. Well, that's creative. They tried something new. I gotta give them props for that, right? Okay, maintain. And this is my favorite one because, like you said, people build this great stuff like Facebook pages and they just never maintain it. And you need to maintain it. Keeping your content fresh gives you SEO points. And that's good because you want people to be able to find you using search. So keep your content fresh, update it constantly. And constantly doesn't have to be every minute. It could be like every week, every month. Just not a year and a half before your next update, right? Keep your software updated. This is especially important in this age of hackers and people taking down your website, Viagra ads and all that good stuff. WordPress puts out updates periodically and they will let you know. And you should update it because it helps decrease your security risk. They put patches and fixes just like you update Windows all the time or your OS on your machines or on your iPhone, how you update your apps all the time. You got to do that with your website too to keep it secure. Back up your website regularly. Oh, this is a big one. I can't tell you how many people call me, oh my God, my website's been hacked and I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, where's your backup? There are lots of great systems you can use to backup. I hear people have great success with Carbonite, which is, they back up their entire computer with it. There are ones that back up just your website. For example, Backup Buddy is a great plugin for WordPress that will do that. WPDB Backup, also great to back up your content. And you can, you don't even have to do it manually. You can set it up so that every month or every week or every day it sends you a little compressed file with all of the information on your website. So if something happens, like God forbid you didn't pay your hosting and they take everything down, at least you have that backup, right? And you put a lot of work in your website, you should save it. What if something happens? You don't want to have to go through all that again. Google Webmaster Tools is the bomb. I just discovered this. I know it's terrible. I just discovered this like 6 months ago. Google Webmaster Tools has so many tools to help you with your website. It can scan everything and make sure that you haven't been hacked or you don't have any hidden malware. It will tell you about your analytics, your speed, what you can do to improve your website. So I highly recommend checking them out. Like I said, pretty much everyone's got some kind of Google account. All this stuff is free. Why not use it? WebsiteGrader.com is also really great. If you, it's just like a search engine box. You just type in your website and it comes back with a report card about your website and what sucks and what's great. And that's a great starting point for you. And then do a little bit every week. So don't feel like you have to invest hours of time in updating your website. If you just focus on one little thing every week to get it rolling, you're going to be consistently fresh, secure, updated, and backed up, and you won't have any problems. All right, so thanks for listening to me. My name's Perri Collins again. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer anything for you. Any questions? Any WordPress questions? Any design questions?
One thing I would say about plugins is that be careful that you add so many plugins for compression and fix that the plugins themselves put a bear down on your website too.
Well,
I went through a WordPress in the beginning where I found so many amazing efficient plugins and gallery compressions, and then what I realized is that my site was running low because I had gone too far with my plugin enthusiasm too, because yes, they compress something, they themselves are taking bandwidth at any given time
Right,
for what they do. So
And just like I said in one of my earlier slides, it's just extra code. If you don't need it,
Right.
don't use it, minimize it.
think about the tool.
Right. And for plugins, I definitely recommend keeping it below 15 unless you're doing something really awesome and you've got people's attention. Like if you're like Coke or Nike, yeah, it's okay to take that extra second to load. But if you're just like average Joe and average city, you want people to be able to access your stuff quickly. So you don't want all those plugins. So I try to keep mine at 15 or below. So any other suggestions? How many plugins do you use?
I would say now I probably have around 15, maybe a few more.
I feel
But
like
as soon
that's
as I do
optimal.
an efficiency thing all the time, and I'm always refixing, because I use the Catalyst premium theme,
Oh.
which is amazing. It is the most efficient. I mean, you can make any website with Catalyst, and I'm not I'm not even one of those little affiliates of Catalyst that makes sense off links.
It just works for you.
Well, I think where I would scream it from the rooftops, because they have a whole bunch of there's no coding, because they've added so many additional bells and whistles to it that makes it a really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I hear people say the same thing like about Thesis and Genesis and some of those.
And I did a
other
lot of
frameworks.
research before I bought it, and I bought it for at the developer level, so I can use it on multiple WordPress sites. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
So talking about the speed and on
Yes.
everything else, that's the most important on the landing pages. Like any page that you get that a lot of visitors, that's the first page they come to. That one is really important for the speed. The rest of them you
Definitely.
can have a little bit more.
I think so. I think if you have something that says photo galleries, people are going to expect it to be a little bit slower than the rest of the pages on your site. You just got to manage expectations there.
but if they're not interested because your homepage never loads.
Right, exactly. They'll never read it.
Oh, sorry, right. The reason that's important for the landing pages is because if it's the first time you're ever getting to that site, it takes an extra 3 or 4 seconds to load. You're like, oh, maybe the site's down. Maybe they're having a problem or whatever.
So true, so true. Yes. Anybody use a platform other than WordPress? What do you use?
Hard-coded HTML.
Oh,
wow.
I know. Old school. I love it.
I used to use
My website
Dreamweaver
does
a long time ago.
does close to nothing. So.
Mine does either. I mean, it doesn't. I don't really utilize it as much. The majority of my business comes from social media and word of mouth. So, but I still like to have it so I can play around with all the new toys and install them and see what they do.
So for fun, you want to go to techphx.com and tell us how you would improve it?
Oh my God! I have ideas for the next year.
Because we have like 12 minutes left. I mean.
Really? I don't know how to pull it up.
No. Oh, okay.
But it's been the same way for like 6 years.
Yeah, we haven't really changed it much.
And Perri this is like her first year to be really heavily involved with the web for it. And I was like, well, I wonder if next year if we went with like a whole new look, what would be the thing you would do differently?
Uh-oh.
Just close that window? Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay,
Sure,
wait,
someone else.
TechPHX. Let's see here. Here we go. What would I do with this website? First of all, I would simplify. That's my new mantra lately. All this information, I would cut it down. Another thing I would do is we have an email newsletter we haven't been utilizing. I would definitely jump on that. Too much information going on here. Too much stuff changing.
So that drives me nuts. Slideshow
Yes.
Oh, I have a slideshow on my
goes,
website.
but it's
But it's small and to the
moves so
side.
fast that before I could read any of the
Right.
captions, it's gone.
Well, I would definitely like to change that, and depending on what we want people to do, I would put something else in this place. So if we want them to register, I would try and drive their attention to registering. If we want sponsorships, I would try and drive their attention to sponsoring. It's depending on what time of the year and what we want to focus on. That's what I would do. And we have to have our sponsors on here somewhere, but maybe I would put their logos like across the bottom and make them feel a little special with their little pictures instead of having a list, because your eyes just glaze over when you look at that.
Do you see the sponsors' pictures over there too? Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but they're not.
No, I mean like maybe have one in
One-
one place.
in one place and not both. That's exactly what
I
I
wouldn't
mean.
cycle through them because I think all the sponsors want the same level of attention.
Yeah.
Any sites I've done, you know, I work for a university as well, separate from my own personal branding, and one of the things you really have to be careful with is politicalness.
Yes.
And you really, if you have a sponsor who's given the most money and everybody's 10%, their logo needs to be bigger and they need more recognition.
Yes.
If you have equal sponsorship, you want to make sure, first of all, their logos are rasterized and appropriately, not all like little
tiny,
but
right.
really beautiful.
So I would
And then
definitely
you want
fix
them
that.
all there together, because all of them want the same level of recognition. They all want that. And having them individually like this, you've kind of given weight to each one as alone,
Right.
and yet none more than the other. Like, do you have a sponsor who's 90% your sponsor?
Not yet, but
Or-
we're hoping.
Exactly. You know, so if it's like, you know, when Blackwell Pavilion is named after a company, right? Like, you know, but you won't get sponsorship again in some cases, because for them the value is their brand, and
Right.
and they want to be paid attention to and equal to the other sponsors, you know?
That's a great way to put it, and I
Right.
totally agree with you. So I'll definitely do that. And also, like, again, I don't care too much for the slider, but we have like I would do like some kind of list of blog posts or something. I don't know where I put
Your
it.
Twitter stream should be on the
Twitter
front.
stream. But we have the buttons over here.
No, but I mean, especially like right now,
Right
if you're
now.
doing podcasting and Twitter stream, your Twitter stream could be running live right
That's
on
a
the
great
front.
idea.
I have my Twitter stream on my little blog.
I do too, but
Because it's
not
links.
on the TechPHX one.
Right.
But these are definitely things I would do to change it. And I also feel like all these pictures and stuff is slowing it down when it's loaded. So I would definitely remove those. And I would make this donate button, like I put it
Yeah.
higher up or
Right up
So
something.
you notice it, because a lot of people don't, like,
Like,
some people
the
don't
fold.
actually scroll
Their
down
fold,
that extra
Right,
little
above the
bit.
fold.
Above the
exactly.
fold, anything you want ever to be on the web that's of any importance to you, above the fold, or it is.
Yeah, I work in journalism. That's a big like
Exactly,
term,
above the fold.
So yeah, those are definitely some great suggestions, and
It
those
does
are
look
things
good.
that
I mean, I don't want to feel like this is another thing. I mean, it's,
No, everything
the
can be
schedule is
improved.
right there. I have to say, I've done a conference and things where the schedule is very hard to find. So, I mean, at least it's right there, and it's a link, and it's clear.
It would be great if we had like a ton of money. We could have some.
Ironically, I will throw Design Phoenix Design Week under the bus. I don't know if
Really?
anyone here also graphic artists,
Yes.
but
Go to their website, go to their
But
website.
Go to their website.
one
It's
of the
Phoenix
problems
DC,
is that they
right?
have all these visual pretties, but the schedule's never up in a really concrete way. It's not very clickable. I don't know, right, why it could be fabulous right now, but as of when it occurred, before it occurred, if you can see it.
Is it Phoenix or
Do you
PHX?
remember how?
PHXDW.
Oh, thank you. PHXDW. Is it .com or
Here's the
.org?
thing,
Oh,
see,
there
right
we go.
away, look at this now. How does this look to you coming up?
I like the simplicity, but it's
But if this is a graphic designer thinking about poster art and not the web.
right. For example, what if I want to be reminded when it's coming up? Maybe they should have put email.
Now
or
start
sign-up
going and
box.
try to link on any of this. Is old. This is that. Remember that part of the web where we didn't really define things and we thought you'd click on pictures. Remember when Flash was really
Yeah,
hot
yeah,
and we'd
yeah,
have pictures instead of like actually telling you where
Well,
to
there's
go.
a form.
It's like something would be hidden behind.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Like you
but
should
you had
be
to click the
intuitive
back
enough to
button.
know that
There's
the
no
egg
menu.
means breakfast or you know those kind of things.
Yeah, that's terrible.
What was the thing at the top right?
And I don't think this is the whole site. I mean, I think that there's something.
They took it down for the time being.
Okay.
Oh, here's the 2012 site.
Yeah. So go.
Look how long it took to load.
Right. And okay, so you see, but then if you start clicking on like the events and things, like it's minimal to the point of frustrating. There's a like, see,
smells
look at all that
Oh.
time. And then if you click on these things, you go to these Eventbrite, like ticket buying things, and but see,
Oh wait, I
like,
just
it's
saw.
not-
Was that a schedule?
yeah, and it's not printable. There's usually not a PDF. So
Yeah.
you can, like actually like download it into
That
something
would
useful.
irritate me.
So here is an irony of a bifurcation between us here and designers trying to use the web, but they're still not.
Well, you
using
have
it.
to make it beautiful, and I have to say I love the minimalism.
Absolutely.
But it's not functional.
It's not
and
functional.
what's the good of it being pretty if you can't use it, right?
Exactly. So if you guys want to go consult these folks, they definitely need some assistance. And you're the web designer.
That's
You might
terrible
want
because these guys who run this program are actually some of the best designers
They are.
in Phoenix. And I just don't feel like this website really reflects their
Absolutely
awesome.
not.
not. Absolutely not.
And
And I think it's a big miss to.
Does somebody want to volunteer their site for criticism?
Yeah, sure. We'll do a little.
Oh, I'm not throwing my blog out there, because I know it needs fixing. I work full time, it's a recreational
Sure.
side project.
We know. We are all doing the same thing.
Well,
Even at
that's you.
TechPHX, we're all volunteers, so it's hard to find the time to implement all this stuff that you want to do, right?
Oh, Wesley.
Oh, what are you typing in? Wesley Tech.
All right,
Alright.
I have no logo. It's in the works, so that's one item
I'm
that.
gonna tell you right now, I hate ads, but I know that's how you make your money.
I'm just getting ready to remove my ads, actually.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings because I'm in the journalism business and online advertising is the new buzzword. Well, not so new anymore.
I think affiliate links and other things are gonna be the.
I agree.
Opposed
I love
to-
affiliate marketing much
Exactly.
better than having like these random links that don't apply to me everywhere. That gets on my last nerve. I don't see a whole lot of pictures going on, so right now it's very text heavy.
The back scroll button too. You probably got a lot on that page.
Yes,
and
I
scroll
like
down.
how he does have his recent posts, so obviously he wants us to click through and read this crap. Sorry,
It's all
Leslie.
good.
You know, and the comments are good, it encourages engagement, but it's, like I said, it's very text heavy, so one thing I recommend to my clients, I know people, they get a lot of flack for this, but it's a picture with every post. And I'm sorry, but people are visual, and I know pictures take just that much longer to load than text, but again, like this site here, very text heavy, and I'm just like, blah, it's all just blah in my mind. I'd like to see a picture that has to do with the headline. I think this headline is too small. I think it needs to be bumped up a couple of pixels. You know, you make me
I can
nervous with
give-
that camera.
I can give you mine, but I'm very sensitive.
I do a photo or an image with every post, and you can see the bottom. That's actually the image with the
It's
post.
so far down,
So
it's
would you-
below the fold.
You prefer images at the top of each post?
Definitely, like some people, they use like headers for every post, or
Little thumbnail at least.
thumbnails that are like really large. I do like. If this photo is too low on the page, the headline is too small, and these ads up here, I don't know where anything starts because they're distracting me.
And it's not a photo.
Well, it's
It's an
Picture of
ad.
Screenshot.
Image.
Screenshot.
That's
You know, it's not like I'm a celebrity. Also, your menu is very tiny and off to the corner. So
Oh, well, I'm not.
yeah, we are left to right readers. So we start reading here and move over. So this is like, it seems like it's not as important. If I want to get around his website, I either want to like in the center or over here. So I definitely move the menu over, maybe make it bigger or a different color to differentiate it from all this other stuff.
I guess I could, you want me to give you mine?
Yeah, go
Mine is
ahead.
very colorful, and I will not compromise that, so forewarned. This is.
That's okay, we'll
I just
punch
wanted
it
to
up.
know that I violate things deliberately, so, you know.
Well, what's your
Here's
website?
where- It's just craftymodern.com. Hopefully it comes out right.
Craftymodern.com. Yeah, I think this is IE, so if it doesn't show up, we know it's not
Yeah, I
you.
was gonna say, I don't.
Okay. Well, that's not terrible.
Loaded quick though.
But see,
Definitely.
those aren't the colors when when you're looking at an Explorer, that's one of the things I've had, is that it looks a lot lovelier in other browsers.
That's okay, but it's clear that you're a crafting person, just like from not even
Right.
reading anything, just noticing all the color. It's clear that you're a crafty person. Very colorful. I can clearly see with the bars that this is the menu. I like the big picture. I like the large text for the header. There's a lot going on right
Right.
here.
And
So
I
I'll
recognize
definitely
that.
simplify this a little bit because I don't know what you want me to click on. There's just so much going on
Right.
here. So where do you want to direct people? If you want them to engage with you, like what is this, Etsy? I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, then I would make that more apparent because obviously you're trying to sell stuff, right?
And that's part of it, is that I've morphed back and forth from being a craft blogger in terms of functionality and funding, and also moving towards getting away from advertising, and because I do a lot of sponsor, like even this post right here is actually working with a craft publisher where they've provided me, and I put disclaimers and disclosures on all my posts
That's
when I
great.
receive, and moving toward, deciding to just move towards selling my own art, my own things.
Which is this over here.
Exactly, but right now I'm trying to do both, and I'm trying to finalize what to maybe dump from that, you know.
So like, just let me ask you, why did you put all your social media stuff right here in the middle?
I don't know, because it's really visual and it's really important. I use all of it.
I feel like this little column, I don't know. I'm
See, I really like it, so it's okay.
Really?
Yeah, and I've
No, it's
actually
just
even had other
opinion.
people.
Again,
Right,
it's all
exactly.
opinion.
Absolutely.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
If you disagree with everything I say and you
Oh,
feel
no,
like
no,
you
no,
can
no.
be successful doing your own
And I love
website.
hearing from others. Like right now, I used a PNG image accidentally. You'll see up there. So now in the slideshow has a black background. I just noticed that and I was like, oh, I gotta fix that. So, you know.
No, that's fine. And I like the fact that the slider is small, but with all this movement and all these pictures, it's hard for my eye to figure out where I want to go, what it is I want to read.
So what
Click
about,
on.
what about the About Me section right there?
Oh, about me, it's all the way down here. Well, there's an
Well, it's
about
up
me
there
here.
though too.
Is it the same thing when you click on it?
No, and this is kind of, so, you know, this is more industry specific. So you may be looking at things from being either a business or a university or whatever. Hobby blogs and sort of craft, right, has a different aesthetic and sort of a different modality that I'm trying to sort of, because I
That's
work
good
at
to know.
university as a daily, like, which is a completely austere, sort of separate kind of thing. One of the things I have to get used to is I don't like pictures of myself, but people, especially when you're blogging and you're trying to identify your own brand and be an artist, they want to see you, you know, that kind of stuff. So
So I think your text next to your photo should wrap up to the
Yeah,
top there.
I know, I just did
Left
that.
align it.
I agree.
But I still think there's like a lot going on here. And like your Facebook is all the way down here. So is it not as important as the other stuff? Do you not care about engagement? Okay, then that's cool.
Do you not care about engagement?
Some
I do care about
But
engagement,
I'm
but
just
I
saying-
use social
Oh, you just don't
media
care?
in
So you
different
just
ways.
hate America?
Different
No,
ways.
everybody and every business is different, and what works for
Absolutely.
somebody won't work for someone else.
Right.
Let's keep it real. We only have a limited number of hours to work on our
Bandwidth is,
business.
exactly.
And you gotta focus on what's important to you, and if engagement is not, well, screw it. Let's focus on what is gonna bring in the money.
And the ads are going away. That's starting this week. I'm dumping ads because the revenue for me, I don't have a huge, like I said, I want to drive traffic to my art, my digital products, and my home
Then
things.
that's
And
what
I'm
should be featured.
exactly, and I'm dumping advertising. I've done Ribbon Media and Google, and I've done a variety of ad networks.
And it
And it
has
has nominal income, but honestly, for the distraction, it potentially can be and put off, especially if you're an artist. This is a bigger conversation about artists versus being a business person, and are you compromising something by lightning? You know, but the reality is all this stuff takes time, and you're giving
Absolutely.
free content. Shouldn't you be able to make revenue from it? But the
That's a
advertising,
different discussion.
exactly. But the
So-
advertising's gonna fail. So
Any other
that's all
websites
me.
you wanna look at before we shut it down for the next presenter? Any other questions?
Were you gonna do a plug for WordCamp?
Sure,
Oh,
I'll
what
do a
is it?
plug for WordCamp. I forgot, I am volunteering for them. Thank you for reminding me. So yes, WordCamp is in January. I forget the exact dates. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, I have forgotten too. It's not on my radar just yet. It's all WordPress all day, all the time.
Really?
Yes, it's usually very inexpensive. I wanna say like,
Is it WordCamp?
it's WordCamp Phoenix?
Yeah.
WordCampPhoenix.com maybe? It's really great. Some of the same folks who put on Design Week are also gonna be at
Well,
WordCamp.
that's okay. We
But
know folks.
they do bring in a lot of great speakers from out of town, from WordPress itself, as well as local people who use WordPress extensively. But their classes run the gamut from super beginner like these to like super techie, nerdy code stuff we're gonna try and tell you about PHP loops and things. It's really like great. I love it. I love nerds, so I would highly recommend it. It's very affordable. Usually it's like 10, 15, 20 bucks, some real nominal fee. So if you can go, I would encourage you to go. It's going to be in Chandler, downtown Chandler. And also
San Marcos or somewhere?
It's
I think it's
it's at
new-
the auditorium.
Oh, the Center
Center for the Arts,
Okay.
and then also they're going to be utilizing some of the classrooms at the new community center, which is like a block away. So if you can go. I'm going to be there. I'm planning the after party, so go to that. It'll make me look good. Anything else you want me to plug? All right.
Yeah, if you go up, if you craft, I don't think anybody would let you. The Phoenix Craft Rave is next weekend. That's 12, you pay to get in, there's that little blue ride, and you get to
Hey,
literally
we're
get to
all about
craft
community
for
here.
12 hours straight.
And then also, I will
It's
plug
pretty
Tech
awesome.
Phoenix. We are
Craft
always looking
Phoenix.
for volunteers. So if maybe you want to do a session on crafting at the next Tech Phoenix.
I would love to.
We
I
have
would
a
love
volunteer page on our website.
Okay.
Sign up if you want to work the day of the event, if you want to help with the planning, if you want to help with anything. We are 100% volunteer based, and we would love to have you. So that's my plug, so I'm gonna shut it down, and you guys can reach me on Facebook or Twitter, and have a great TechPHX.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Let's see how this thing works. You lied to me.
What do you want to do?
I don't know, it was supposed to give me a black screen, but whatever.
Oh,
Look, I haven't even
Oh,
followed
get
my
B on the
notes.
keyboard. I think that might do that.
Oh, I did leave my little stick over there.
Oh, you're not running PowerPoint either, are you?
I was, but not now.
Okay. Hitting a B on the keyboard